Hello, before we go into the next tutorial, always keep this in mind that whenever you want to start to work on your image, always do the first thing is say Ctrl J and add a layer and start working on the layer. For Mac users, it will be Command J to duplicate the layer, add the layer, and then start your processing. Further processing, never do work without adding the layer. Let's go to our main tutorial today. Hello friends. I'm back with one more tutorial today, which is in line with the last tutorial. And few friends have asked how to blur the background in case there is a heavy background or there is a background having clutter, and the impact of that clutter or impact of that background can be reduced to some extent so that the subject stands out. For example, in this frame, the bird stands out. So let's have a look at the small workflow. Very simple workflow. I have opened one already file. I am going to the tab select. Here I am going to select the another sub tab called select and mask. So this will get now an onion mask I have selected. So if you see here in the view mode, there is a onion mask. So I have selected onion mask with 50% transparency. So I will go here and click on the select subject. So the artificial intelligence, the AI of Photoshop, will select the subject very beautifully. So you can see there is a subject already selected, and there are some areas which are not selected. So I'm going to say refine here, and there are two brushes here, plus and minus. So I'm going to select the refine brush over here. You can select the size, small or big, and start removing the things which we want in the frame. And the green which you are seeing, which is going out, which means that it will not come in our selection. So I'm removing the green patches from here, and the onion mask is showing us what the areas will remain for our final use. So I'm removing it for the demo purpose. I'm doing it little rough, but when you are doing for the final processing, you can do little carefully so that the green patch will go and our subject remains selected. So I have removed some green patches. So here it is done. So I have done the refiner. What I am going to do is I am just going to say OK. Now you can see that the subject is already selected and the background is still green. So what you have to do is go to select and say inverse. When you say inverse, the background is now got selected and the subject is well protected. So you have to go to the filter, go to the blur. In blur, you have to select the Gaussian blur. Now you can see that when it is at 29, it has become totally green. So based on your choice, you can see at the background, this 0.1, and you can click here inside and see the subject and start increasing the radius to make it blur and blur and blur. So I'm just going to stop somewhere at here 9. Yeah, 9.4 is okay. I'm going to say okay. Go and deselect it, and you will find that the background has become blurred. So it's a very simple trick to remove the clutter in the background and make your subject popping out. We can have a look another example. We can have a look at little uh, complicated background over here. So here is again we are going to do the same thing. This is Himalayan monal on the snow, and here I would like to have the monal and the snow uh, on a prominent front, and this bushes and shrubs will be uh, made some kind of a blur so that the subject pops out. So go to select, select and mask. As we said, uh, This subject will get selected now. Yeah, you can see it's very beautifully selected the subject. If you want to refine here, you can refine. There is one more trick which we'll add now. So as it is the subject is selected, go to OK and say OK. Now you can see here that the subject is already selected. And what I want is now I have a choice to go to brush, pick up the plus brush, make it little more bigger and start selecting the snow area which I want. So you can see that I am selecting the snow which I want. So the subject, Monal, and the snow part is selected. Some part of the ground is selected. The rest of the part I want to make it blur. So again go to select, inverse. So the whole thing is now protected. The subject is protected, the snow area and the ground is protected. Now, as we said earlier, go to filter, go to blur, select the Gaussian blur. You can play around with different kind of blurs. Gallery, from the gallery, here you can see that here is little clutter is here. You can see the model with clutter. From now 0.3, I will start increasing the radius so that it start becoming the blur and blur. So you can go on improving the size and you can see that it becomes almost fully blurred. When it is at 29, you can still come down and make it realistic, maybe around 9 or 10. I'm going to 15, 16. Okay, say okay, select, inverse, deselect. Now you can see that the background is fully blurred. The subject Monal is standing out on the ground and the snow. The rest of the portion is now fully blurred the way you want. So you can have a look at the first how it got blurred and you can have a look at the second how it got blurred. So these were the two ways to do it. There are various other ways to do it which we will cover in the time to come.